This is a download from Newstalk 106 to 108. To download other programmes or for more information, go to newstalk.ie.
I'm prepared to do anything I can to play for my country again.
Do it then. What about your start to the game?
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should there be an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
We may just be coming out of the Aviva Stadium. Not sure if you heard myself and Roddy and Kent speaking earlier on, but there weren't a huge amount of positive vibes coming from the two lads. I personally am pretty happy that we've gotten through. We know the level that we play at, and we know we're never going to play any team off the park or beat them by 3 or 4 goals, but we got the job done in a reasonably professional way, even allowing for the bits of luck that we got, Murph.
We were the third seed going into this group. We finished second. We've lost one game over the course of a 10-game campaign in this group. I don't really know that we're in a position where we can start questioning how we go about getting our results. At the end of the day, we've gotten to the place where if we went by the seedings, we don't even deserve to be. Like Slovakia were at the World Cup last year. Armenia went and beat them 4-0 at home last week, and we're giving out about the manner of our victory over Armenia 2-1 tonight. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, I think this is absolutely brilliant news. We'll see who we get in the playoffs and we can make a judgment, I suppose, then. But, I mean, it's not like we've been raised on a steady diet of amazing champagne football.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't, a massive sea change in how we play the game.
And I don't necessarily also... I'm not, we're not being fans with typewriters or microphones here. I know there's a critical analysis to be done, and it would be lovely if we played better football, and it'd be great if we were good enough to put out to put away teams like Armenia when they have 10 men and build on our 2-0 leads. It's not happening. It won't happen under this manager. It probably wouldn't happen under any other manager either. We're into the playoffs playing the type of football that we play, and I think we have to not just accept that, we have to be quite happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, think about the situation before Trapattoni came along. We're organised, we're tough to beat. We were not that for 2 years before Trapattoni arrived. So, let's just calm down a little bit here. You know what I mean? And let's just be happy that we're in the playoffs, and let's see who we get. We're in a pretty good situation as it stands. The next half hour is going to tell us an awful lot about how good the news is going to be for that playoff draw on Thursday, but it's looking pretty good at the moment.
Ken is cycling back from the Aviva Stadium, Murph, so we're expecting him back any moment now.
It's kind of like Rocky. Your crowds will just be kind of falling in behind him as he's cycling back towards us.
Yeah.
And hopefully enough of the good vibes from the Aviva crowd tonight will have softened his mood a little. I hate to hear you arguing. The two of you.
Yeah. It happens in any great relationship. Someone say it's a cathartic thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you need that. You need that edge, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we shout at each other quite half enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, still though, I mean, it's just kind of hard for me because I kind of feel like I'm stuck in the middle.
Murph, your skin looks just phenomenal at the moment. What's your secret? What's all?
Well, Owen, a life on the bog and regular potatoes has helped me build a complexion like this, but I'd be lying if I said it had nothing to do with the new L'Oreal Paris Men Expert Vitalift 5 Revitalizing Moisturizer for men who want to keep being themselves and look good. It's time to take action with new aforementioned Vitalift 5 Complete Revitalizing Moisturiser.
Indeed, with thanks to L'Oreal, we've a brilliant prize to give away. We've a signed rugby jersey by the Irish team for the winner. Also a weekend in Delphi Adventure Centre with 2 nights B&B, dinner and day of adventures activities for the winner and 5 mates. Each night our finalists will also get a L'Oreal Paris Men Expert hamper. To win, just identify our mystery voice who has asked what he thinks of men who don't moisturise daily. Here's the voice.
I think it's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
Happy man tonight, I would say.
I think it's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
If you know what that is, text the word expert followed by your answer to 53106. Text costs 30 cents and you have to be 18 or over to enter. As you know, this is with thanks to L'Oreal Paris Men Expert, a proud sponsor of Irish Rugby. Full terms and conditions at newstalk.ie/competitions. Well done, the Galway man. You speak the truth. Loads and loads of texts and emails and Facebook messages coming in. 53106 is the text line number. Email off the ball at newstalk.ie. Facebook.com/off the ball. Ken, take a deep breath. First of all, you cycle back and double quick time.
And relax.
Wow.
Yeah, I made it.
Do you want to kiss and make up now?
What about what?
Well, we had a very, very heated debate there about the merits of this victory on air.
No, I mean...
And our listeners, Murph is just, being caught in the crossfire here.
I thought we managed to keep it professional.
Yeah.
icily professional. I mean, on the one hand, you were telling me that Armenia were a poor team and didn't deserve to go to Euro 2012. On the other hand, you were telling me we should be delighted because we managed to beat them 2-1 thanks to an own goal, a refereeing mistake,
I probably
and a goalkeeping error.
I probably shouldn't say they're a poor team. They're an all right team. They're certainly no world beaters. The context of that point was that you were talking about how unlucky they were not to get a result from tonight's game. I was saying they were the authors of their own downfall.
Yeah.
Stupid goalkeeping, stupid defending,
Stupid.
and they can't really complain too much. I know we did after the France debacle a couple of years ago, but you'll remember my reaction to that one. I thought, and you the same one, that our country became
Had
everyone
something mad.
acted, something weird happened there where we decided that we should be the only country ever to get decisions overturned after
Hideous
matches.
squeals of the right.
All right, some of the texts, there's loads coming in. Gary from Drogheda, will you put it to Ken and Roddy that none of our players would get into any team in the top 20 in the world, and that the system and style we play is the only way we can compete? And I know we were playing lesser opposition tonight, but the system must stay the same with limited but honest players.
I think it's a very pessimistic outlook. I mean, I don't see why you necessarily have to have such a limited sort of imagination about what you can do, and also why are you insisting that our players are so bad? Why are you so determined to see our players as mediocrities? I mean, maybe some of us believe more in the potential of our players.
Cox just told reporters he didn't think it was handball, yet he pleaded handball to the ref. All this after his own handball.
I'm not sure what Cox has been saying in the mix. I'm sure some people are going to ask because I was going down the lift there and we were saying, well, I mean, is John Delaney going to offer them a replay?
Yeah,
surely when it wasn't a self-interested policy. I mean, it was for the good of the game. The stand that we took at that point. I mean, Cox in that instance is, I think, guilty of whatever Thierry Henry was guilty of. Cox is also guilty of it because he handled the ball on the way down. He knew that he'd done that, and yet he turned and appealed for the goalkeeper to be sent off.
Yeah, there's no difference between himself and Henry.
The Ireland
except
players,
that Henry is a much more high-profile world player
Yeah.
who a lot of people would have a natural dislike towards anyway because of his perceived arrogance.
And
let's go after Simon Cox's many sponsorship deals. That's how we're going to hurt him, Ken. That's the only way we're going to hurt Simon Cox.
His handball did, of course, lead directly to goal. But when you get the goalkeeper sent off, it's almost as good as a goal, really.
Brian in Dublin, lads, your problem is you're willing to settle for a lower standard. Great, we're in the playoffs, but this group was awful and we should have been able to win it. There's a serious lack of on-field leadership.
Yeah.
A coach who can't speak English is a major problem for really driving the squad on. I don't think it is awful. I think Russia are definitely a good team, and I think there's a good margin between them and the rest, and we've managed to come best of the rest.
Yeah,
So
it
don't
is a
think that's
bad. It is a bad group, though.
We say this every time.
We
though.
couldn't beat Slovakia.
Yeah.
We played Slovakia twice. We couldn't beat them.
Well, the reason we've gotten through is because we were hugely consistent, particularly against Armenia.
Well, we're
who
the
were-
only team to have not dropped a point against them.
Yeah. Did we get a seeding and what teams do we face? We don't know this yet because there are matches ongoing. France are still 1-0 down, so it could be France in the playoffs. Once again, they're 1-0 down against
Well,
Bosnia.
they would be seeded, I assume.
Lads, we are actually hoping that they do go and win. So according to the calculations Keane was doing a little bit earlier on, which adds another twist. First time listener and texter. Wow. Ken and Roddy have said nothing but negative stuff for the last hour. Disgraceful. Fair play to you Owen for being proud of your team. Well done, Ireland.
That kind of stuff
Might
just
not be
really
pretty, but we're in the playoffs. as
winds
Sean
me
and
up.
so,
I mean, here we've got people who don't really understand, what journalism is. Journalism is a quest for the truth, though. And it's not a question. The truth is not positive or negative. It just is. And if we're sitting there and we're watching a pretty poor performance by Ireland, who are being given all the breaks, all the luck in the match, and still can't finish off their opposition.
not forgetting the lack of luck that we received last time around when we were in a playoff.
I don't see how that has anything to... I mean, the last time we actually played quite well.
Well, you're saying in one case we got lucky tonight, but we got extremely unlucky previously. So if we're just going by that, are we not?
We
we're
got
not
lucky.
due for it?
The question is, are Ireland playing well? That's the question. And the answer is, no, they're not. The referee has sent off the opposing goalkeeper wrongly. They've scored a ridiculous own goal, and their goalkeeper has gifted us a second goal.
Sheikh even gifted them a goal.
Have we played... Well, in fairness, their goal was a hell of a lot better constructed. I mean, that was a shot which was going in until Shea Given... it was going in, and Shea Given probably should have saved it. But you could argue he was unsighted. I mean, they actually put a move together, put a shot on target. The question is, are
We've conceded one goal in
the
how many
question
games
is not,
it is?
Are we proud to be Irish? Are we happy that Ireland are in a playoff? Because I mean, obviously the answer to those questions is yes.
But it doesn't seem to be, though. I mean, yourself and Roddy didn't seem to be overjoyed. Roddy said it's going to set football back 10 years if we get to a major tournament playing this kind of football. And you made the point that there's no point getting there because we'll just be stuffed once we are there. But we don't know that. There's momentum in teams. Anything can happen if we actually get into the tournament.
Well, I mean, I think we have to start playing differently. I mean, maybe in the performance of Cox tonight, there was a little bit of hope that maybe we found a player who can. I mean, I think a problem that we've had in recent matches when we have been struggling terribly to score goals has been that Robbie Keane has just dropped away. He's gone. I mean, we're looking at a player who's struggling to get around the pitch. Can't score against Andorra, can't score against Slovakia, couldn't get a touch of the ball against Russia. We were talking about this clean sheet record we have, but we also went 3 games in a row without scoring. The last time we did that was under Stan, when we were getting caned by Holland and Germany. So I think that was definitely a big problem. Maybe Cox, if he can, and we've also got Long, we've got Walters who came on tonight and I thought was good. So maybe these players can help to improve our attacking play, but something is going to have to happen if we're not just going to stink out the championships if we get to the championships.
I don't know, that's making a lot of assumptions, I think. Lads, we're an absolute shambles of a team, being outplayed by 10-man Armenia. No doubt we'll have to listen to the usual nonsense about the result, etc. But the bottom line is we don't deserve anything from the game. Rory Collins says, holy crap, Ken and Roddy, they'd moan about winning the lotto. Fergan Cork traps a joke, 2 million a year for caveman football. He's 72. His tactics are outdated, Murph.
We don't deserve to be in a playoff. I mean, bad teams get to playoffs all the time, and then bad teams get to tournaments all the time. Why are we being so hard on ourselves? I mean, we saw Slovakia at the World Cup last year, not a great team, but they're at the World Cup.
Well, maybe some of us aren't as turned on by the idea of being a bad team as you obviously are.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're saying bad teams get to playoffs, bad teams get to tournaments. You're suggesting aren't there a bad team? We're about to get to it. We're in a playoff.
No, you're the one telling everyone that we're playing like a bad team. That's all. And the fact of the matter is, if you're a bad team and you're in a playoff, then you're in a playoff. You have a chance to win. And, we seem to have this unbelievably high standard for teams that qualify for major tournaments. I mean, we know the standard isn't that high. And if we're not that brilliant a team, that's fine. Let's try and get to these tournaments. And actually, when we're there, we've never, ever let the country down. Like the 4 World Cups the 3 World Cups and the European Championships we've been at we've always done really well. Yeah. So I don't know where this idea that we're going to go there and stink the joint up. I mean, nothing has suggested that to us in the previous 4 tournaments that we've been
whenever we've qualified for a tournament before, we've done so in a hell of a lot more style than we're managing in this occasion.
We were beaten by 3-1 by Spain at home in the penultimate game.
We've lost one game in
94, we poxed the result against
I don't believe so.
Ireland.
Oh, and I think that was actually the qualification campaign for Euro 96, which we didn't qualify for. No, we lost to Holland.
In the qualifiers for World Cup 94, we lost the second last game at home, 3-1 to Spain, and then
that was John Sheridan's
and then we fluked a 1-1 draw away to Northern Ireland. That was not great football getting into that.
Well, I mean, it was a fantastic strike by Alan McLaughlin.
Murphy is another bandwagon merchant of decent skin who won't rock the boat and knows nothing about football. If Ken can't enjoy tonight, he's doomed to a disappointing life. So certainly the debate tonight is splitting our texters. If you are going home from the Aviva, text in and let us know your views. If you are coming home, you might have missed Kevin Kilban, who we spoke to at the full-time whistle. He's injured at the moment. Here were some of Kevin's thoughts.
Oh yeah, delighted. My heart's still beating a little bit there. It was very nervous last 10 minutes or so, but I'm just delighted that we've got into the playoff, fully justified and fully deserved, really. Oh, it's not great watching the games. It really isn't. But I felt that every player played really well tonight, especially in the second half. First half, we didn't really start well. We looked a little bit nervous, which was understandable with what was at stake. But second half there, I thought we controlled the game. It was wonderful, to be honest. I'm just delighted that we've managed to do it, and we'll see what the draw brings for us now. We've got a good team ethic. We've got a good team spirit there. I think it's always been said, look, no, why can't we go at teams? Why can't we do this? But I think that the way that the last few campaigns had gone for us before Mr. Trapattoni had come in, I think that we were conceding goals. We weren't playing particularly well, and we had to get back to basics in many respects and stop conceding. I think that it's been proved. Tonight's goal that was conceded was the first one in 9 games, I think it was, and I'd take it any day that we can have a good defensive unit and hopefully we can go up the end and nick a goal. So we don't feel as a team under pressure to go out and attack teams and feel as though that that from what certainly what the media saying that we've got to, like you're saying there, let the shackles off. We can relax a little bit and hopefully as long as we don't concede like is gone for us at times, we'll always have a little bit about us to get a goal.
Kevin Kilban there speaking not long after the game. Just the emotion, first of all. It is great to hear how much it means to these guys. Kilban has been such a great player, great servant over a number of years, and he now has a chance to play in a playoff. I know that's not what journalism necessarily is about, Ken, but it's hard not to be pleased for guys like Kilban.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you'd have to be pleased for the entire team tonight, apart from maybe Kevin Doyle, who's probably a little bit frustrated with how things went. I mean, it's fantastic they've got a chance to do it. What we're talking about here is more the sort of long term. I mean, obviously we're delighted to have won the match, and for the players are obviously going to be happy to have won a game.
Kevin Doyle, as you mentioned there, was sent off for a second yellow card, leading with the arm, and he's going to be suspended for the first game of the playoff. Robbie Keane looks like he might miss that also. So we're running a bit light on strikers. Luckily, we've got Shane Long waiting in the wings. You probably think our best strikers are Long and Walters anyway, I think. And Cox. So we're actually best served in that position.
Yeah, so in a way, what's happening here, I mean, what we've noticed with Giovanni Trapattoni is that when he came in and took over from Steve Staunton, who still haunts our dreams, he made a lot of improvements immediately. And the team got a lot better in the first couple of months after he took over, and has remained at that level ever since. And has remained more or less the same personnel that he's picking. And he talks about having built a squad and so on, but actually it's the same team all the time. And the only way that anybody ever comes into the team is when somebody gets injured. So, for instance, we were speaking to Kevin Kilban there a minute ago. The reason that he's not there tonight, the reason that he's not playing tonight is that he's injured. Stephen Ward was able to come in and get his place. Same thing with Robbie Keane. Doesn't matter how badly he plays, the only way that he's ever going to be replaced is when he's injured, and that's what happened tonight. Maybe Kevin Doyle, who also I don't think has played particularly well.
I'm not arguing that Trapattoni doesn't have his weaknesses. I know he's inflexible.
Total inflexibility. There's no competition for places in our squad.
Yeah,
there's only a queue of people waiting in a numbered hierarchy. That's what they've got. And numbers 1 and 2 in the hierarchy, number 2, Kevin Doyle, is definitely out of the playoff, and number 1, Robbie Keane.
If he's doing all these things wrong, though, Ken, how has he gotten us into the playoff for the second time?
Because our players happen to be quite good. And this is what annoys me about these people going, we've got a terrible team. How can you expect any better from us? We've got a terrible team. We have a team which is packed with players playing in the Premier League, which is one of the strongest leagues
some
in the
of them
world.
not playing, in the case of Cox and Glenn Whelan. These guys aren't getting into the starting lineup. So I know we've all right
Shane Long is getting into the starting lineup at the Cox team. I mean, we have plenty of players. I mean, Seamus Coleman is another player who can't get out of the team. He's playing regularly in the Premier League. James McCarthy is another player who's playing regularly in the Premier League, can't get in our team. We've got a lot of good players. This is the point. If we had just got
we have a lot of reasonably good players. We don't have that many. We don't have world class players in most positions.
We have got some pretty good players, and if we, there's no reason why we can't aspire to be a decent team.
Well, I think we are a decent team.
Maybe we can aim higher.
Off the Ball on Newstalk 106 to 108.
Right, it's Republic of Ireland into the playoffs. We're finding out gradually who we're going to be playing, or who we may be playing, who else is going to be in there, and whether or not we're going to be seeded at the moment. We could do with France doing us a favour and getting a draw against Bosnia, because they're losing at home, which as things stand would put Bosnia into top spot in that group, and it would mean France would go into the playoffs, and because they have a better coefficient than us, essentially what we want is weaker teams into the playoffs for two reasons, because we'd like to play a weaker team, and also because if we end up with one of the 4 highest UEFA coefficients, that's how we get the playoff place, the seeded place in the playoffs. France are clearly higher than us, so if they were to end up in the playoffs, they would be one of the seeded teams. Sweden are also higher than us, but I think they're out of sight of everyone now, Ken. They've beaten Holland tonight, so it looks as though Sweden go through automatically as the best runner-up. Altogether, we'll keep up to date with some of the other scenarios there. Scotland are not going to be in the playoffs tonight by the looks of things. They had to beat Spain, and they're 3-1 down. They had to at least match the score the Czech Republic got, but 2 by Silva and 1 by Villa have Spain 3-1 up on Scotland, and the Czechs are doing their bit, so they're going to be in there. They're 3-1 up against Lithuania at the moment. Portugal are in the playoffs as well. So some decent sides there. Somebody was wondering what the dates are for the playoffs.
The 11th and 12th of November and the 15th of November.
11th and 12th and 15th.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Sorry. In terms of the ranking at the moment, it looks as though it's at the moment Sweden are through.
Right,
Sweden are through is the best second place team.
Yeah.
And then at the moment, Portugal, Croatia, Ireland, Estonia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Turkey, and whoever's going to overtake Scotland.
That's Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic. So looking at that, Portugal, the Czech Republic, and Croatia, we may still be seeded there.
Yeah, as long as Estonia can stay ahead in their game.
Estonia, I'm not sure about where Bosnia's UEFA coefficient is. It's quite difficult to know, especially given that it could actually change at any moment with a goal in any of these matches.
Absolutely loads of text messages coming in tonight. A huge amount. Thanks very much for sending them in to us. A lot of people who are at the game and others who have been watching it. 53106. If you want to text in, we'll also get some post-match reaction from the Aviva Stadium shortly. But the text coming in: when Ireland were hoofing the ball up to Niall Quinn or Gary Doherty, where are these calls about negative football? People use anything to badmouth Trapattoni.
Well, there were plenty of them when Gary Doherty was playing centre forward for Ireland. I remember that was the main complaint about Brian Kerr's team. I mean, Brian Kerr's team was fantastic at keeping clean sheets, just couldn't win a match. They kept drawing the matches, and that was the main criticism that people made. So there was plenty of criticism of the sterile football. As for when Niall Quinn was there, well, Niall Quinn was a very good player. And he played in a team which was surrounded with a lot of good players, and I don't think the team was negative. I mean, maybe it was not.
It was unbelievably negative. I don't know where this division is coming from.
It wasn't negative, Owen. It wasn't negative at all.
We booted the ball up the other end of the field and then pressed
close the opponent down in the final
Where's
third of the pitch.
Where's the constructive football there?
We closed the opponent down in the final third of the pitch.
We talked about some of the matches we played.
It's positive football.
We scored 2 goals in the World Cup in 1990, and I think 2 goals in 94. That's 4 goals in 8 games. Where's the positivity?
Well, I mean, we were
9 games actually in those
9
two.
games.
Those two tournaments.
This stuff about Charlton's football. I know we're not playing great stuff at the moment, but let's not start talking about the amazing positive stuff we played under Jack Charlton.
Well, I mean, we got to the European Championships, beat England, played the Soviet Union off the park. I mean, have you ever looked at a map?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the size of the Soviet Union compared to little Ireland.
Yeah,
and then to see
that was the high
Ireland
point
was like
of the
a
football
jelly
playing.
bean next to the Soviet Union.
From then on, it went
there we were
steadily
playing them
downhill.
off the park.
Dan from Cork: I don't care what our style is. Once Richard Dunn gets to play on a stage, his commitment and pride deserves it. Says first time texter. Ken, just you and Mr. Giles, tell it like it is. Says Dots. Seriously, great football before previous campaigns. Route 1 under Jack Charlton. Ireland have never played total football. We play the system that gets results, says Hugh in Dublin. What world-class midfielders do we have, Ken? Asked Tom.
Well, there's James McCarthy, in fairness. I mean, I haven't seen enough of James McCarthy to say for certain that there's not a major element of the Andy Reids about James McCarthy, in that his reputation is getting better and better, and he's becoming a better player with every game the Trap doesn't play him in.
Yeah, we don't.
I think there's a massive element of that.
We don't have a world-class midfielder at the moment.
Hi lads, Roddy is right. We have no hope in the playoffs the way we play under Trap. Do you honestly believe we can win over 2 legs without passing? Says Robert. Do you think that it's going to... First of all, we don't know who we're playing yet. That's going to make a huge difference. So I don't know if it's worth debating if we'll win a playoff before we know the opponents. But over 2 legs, are we any more or less likely to win than if it was a one-off game? There was a theory that Trapattoni is so kind of experienced that against France last time he would work France out after the first leg, and maybe that did happen to an extent.
Yeah,
but
I mean, France. I mean, we did lose the home leg. That was the big problem with that 2-legged playoff thing, losing that home leg.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd say, Owen, if we get a referee like tonight, I'd say we've got a chance against anyone.
Stephen Ryan says, lads, if you go back to the show when the group was picked, Ken said the playoff would be an excellent result. The tactics from Trap have led to only 1 loss.
That was before.
And 8 clean sheets.
That was arguably before we worked out just what a shambles this group was going to be. I mean, the fact that we couldn't beat Slovakia is the biggest disappointment maybe from the group. I mean, obviously we were pulverised by Russia.
I'd agree with that. The home game against Slovakia, but Russia are a very good side who underperformed in presumably the game against Slovakia.
Russia are a flashy, skillful side who don't really have any heart. They seem to get bored trying to score against us after an hour in Moscow, having completely pulverised us, and we were blessed to escape with a point. And they completely took us apart in the home game. This was Trapattoni's hard to beat at home. Completely, we were destroyed. And then Russia literally said, well, that's it.
I actually do still think that the home performance against Slovakia was the low point of the campaign. Even more so than losing at home to Russia.
It was terrible. It was really awful.
Lads, cycling home from the match myself, and whatever about the way we play. This is Dave and Ranelagh. You didn't meet him on the way home?
Didn't see Dave.
Whatever about the way we played, we got the result, and for the first time I can remember, there was a real positivity in the crowd after the game. Have to move forward and believe we can qualify now. The atmosphere looked good on TV.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent enough atmosphere, although for much of it I had my headphones on and I was listening to my own and Roddy Collins' negative thoughts, possibly, sort of percolating in my own negativity, and, it was sort of a vicious... We fed on each other's bad energy.
One text comes in saying, hello, we won. Lads, great atmosphere tonight.
From the girls on Expose there.
Crowd kept going on, got behind the boys. Dunny is the man. Nice to see him get a goal as well, off his chest or stomach or something around there. Colm says, lucky, 2 great balls into the box. That's not luck. Unlucky against France. We had chances to win that game outright. No such thing as luck.
That's not luck.
Just 1 second, sorry. No such thing as luck over 10 group matches and 2 legs in the playoff. I've turned off Giles and Dunphy to get some reality from you guys. Help me out. Well, I don't know how negative Giles and Dunphy are being tonight, but
there still is such a thing as luck.
France have gotten a penalty against Bosnia.
Ooh,
Samir
Nasri
Nasri has won a penalty down the left, nice little turn, and has been pulled down by the Bosnian centre half. It's a very, very dodgy decision.
Yeah, it's just inside the box. I actually thought Nasri was going to dive, but he did get his.
he got a kick in the ball, so that would be a penalty.
That'd be a penalty.
Yeah,
Right,
the Bosnian centre half leg got trapped between Nasri's. Nasri's going to take this one himself. He looks really calm, doesn't he, Nasri? Looks really chilled out here.
We'll just hang
He
on to
looks
see if
pretty
Samir
nervous,
Nasri
if you
scores,
ask
because
me.
this could be significant in terms of who we get in the playoffs and whether or not we're going to be seeded. He does look quite calm. The goalkeeper's looking to put him off. Sean says that Murph is spot on. McCarthy being touted as the saviour, but he mightn't be.
Here's Nasri right-footed goal.
Scores. So it's 1-1 in that game. We can hear from man of the match Simon Cox speaking afterwards.
An unbelievable night for Irish football. We need to at least get 6 points out of 6, and we got them, and we gave ourselves the best possible chance. And we've got what we wanted in the end, and that was a playoff place. Luck of the draw now, and we'll take whoever comes in.
Yeah, he sounds pretty. He'll take whoever comes out of the group, out of the playoffs.
Well, we're right ahead of Bosnia, so I think that. We are. That's good. That Nasri scored that. That's good. Bosnia are in the playoff. I mean, Bosnia. We could get drawn against Bosnia. They're a dangerous team. Bristling with menace. We could get chewed up by Bosnia, but at the same time, we will be right ahead of them in the seeding.
There had been a theory, and Trapp even put this forward the other day, that sometimes we're better off playing against stronger teams. That didn't seem the case because the strongest team we played was Russia, and they wiped the floor with us. So let's maybe hope for a weaker team rather than a stronger team.
Yeah, Russia gave us a damn good thrashing. Italy didn't manage to beat us, but they would have beaten us in a 2-legged tie. France eventually beat us in a 2-legged tie. So our record against big teams isn't really that good. I mean, we've never beaten one.
Yeah, Denmark beat Portugal. Ronaldo got a goal, and that was too late for them, which is what has put them in the playoffs as opposed to topping that group.
In the same pot as us.
Yeah, so that was a huge result from Denmark to top that particular one. Wales won 1-0 away. Gareth Bale against Bulgaria. If you're interested in that one there, Sweden beating Holland was a standout.
Who did Wales beat?
Wales won 1-0 away against Bulgaria.
It's not a bad result by Wales.
Italy 3-0 up against Northern Ireland. Cassano with 2 goals and an own goal by Macaulay there. We'll hear more from the Irish camp right after these.
Off the ball, getting inside the game on Newstalk 106 to 108.
Republic of Ireland are into the playoffs tonight, as you probably know if you're listening to the sports programme at just past 9:30 after beating Armenia by 2-1. We definitely got a bit of entertainment tonight, more so than we might have expected. Murph, you pegged it after about 5 minutes. You thought this game's a bit more, even before the sending off, it's a little more open than we were expecting.
Yeah, it certainly seemed a lot more open, and because I expected it to be, sort of uber Ireland. As in, there would be absolutely nothing would happen for at least 80 minutes, and then we might get some excitement in the last 10 minutes. But there were actually quite a few chances, even inside the first 15 or 20 minutes.
Davy Fitz gets a 3-year term with the Clare Senior Hurlers. In other news breaking tonight,
he was looking for 6.
Really?
He was looking for 6 years and an involvement in the minor and under 21 teams, according to the Clare people.
No Brian Lohan in the backroom team there. I think he might have been seen as a runner. Louis Mulqueen and Mike Deegan are ratified as selectors. Mike from Cork says Ken must have been watching a different game. Give the lads a break. Peter, 40, Barry and Mikey on the way back to Cork after the game. Happy as Larry. Cox the man. Cox was the man. He was good, wasn't he?
He was good, yeah.
You were sending me clips today, Ken, of Cox on YouTube, convincing me that this is the man who's going to lead us into the European Championships. He scored some great goals in pre-season
Fantastic
friendlies.
goals. He demonstrated a great ability with a bouncing ball, Owen.
Yeah.
He can really whip one of those. He likes that sort of top right-hand corner area of the net. That's his favourite bit of the net. And he's hit it a couple of times. But actually, there was a great touch today from Cox. Again, controlling a ball that had dropped out a long way out of the air. Just killed it stone dead with his first touch. It was great. So, again, we've had Robbie Keane for a long time, and he scored so many goals for us, and now it looks like he can't really get around the pitch anymore. And
problem
that
is-
has really blunted our attack in recent matches.
We
And-
don't see Cox very much because he hasn't been getting into the team, so we're still learning about the guy. I
But you
think.
know, the way it is now, Long is playing pretty well in the Premier League. Walters is playing well in the Premier League. Cox looks like he's got a good bit of ability. Remember, Cox is only a young player as well. He's younger than Shane Long. So I think from this point of view, we're maybe for a long time we've only really had Robbie Keane and Kevin Doyle to count on. Suddenly now we've got them, but also a pool of strikers who look to be just as good.
Another one here. I know we were against 10 men at the time, but I think we showed we are able to pass the ball well at the start of the second half in the lead up to our second goal. It did seem for a while there we were taking it by the scruff of our neck, knocking it around. Then we scored the goal, and as often happens when we score a goal.
It's like a refractory period. Ireland just want to lie back and stretch out and maybe light up a cigarette, and it's a sort of a cooling off period. There's nothing really can happen there for the next little while.
Except them scoring
They're
a goal
done.
against us.
They're spent, and maybe the other team can score. And in that case, then Ireland can, maybe muster their energies again for another assault.
Mark in Cork says, lads, am I alone in my thinking, or is McGeady totally overrated? Hunt or Coleman any day? What do you reckon, Murph? McGeady totally overrated?
Well, he had a very bad day today. He did set up
goal.
Did set up the goal for Richard Dunn, but he, as
Albeit with
Roddy
a
was
poor
saying
cross
earlier,
that the goalkeeper
should really have just come out and claimed.
Yeah, I mean he
got it into the middle of the box. which is
I mean, I
amazing.
think
He's an extraordinarily frustrating player to watch.
Yeah.
McGeady. And I mean, with Coleman and Hunt, certainly you're not going to get the fireworks, but you're also probably going to get a much more consistent level of performance than Aidan McGeady.
Coleman, I mean, is an interesting player because he does have pace. Maybe not. Maybe McGeady's a little bit quicker over 5 yards than Coleman, but Coleman is a great runner. I mean, he really ultimately he usually ends up getting the better of his fullback, and I think he's a better dribbler than Hunt. I mean, Hunt has a way of sort of busting his way through the ball, bouncing off his knees. And through sheer persistence, he usually manages to get through, but there's not a huge amount of finesse involved.
We can hear from Ireland's Stephen Kelly speaking in the media mix zone in the past few minutes.
Job done. It was tricky at times, but I suppose you're there.
Yeah, we're there. It was, I think we knew that they were coming here quite confident after the last couple of results, so we knew we had a tough game in our hands. But I thought we played well, and when they had their man set off, we capitalised on it and did well. But I think we were all on tender hooks. Any of us that were on a card, we kind of got the impression the ref was looking to even up, and you can see what happened with Kevin. That was on the cards. But I think overall it was a good performance. At the end they came back into it, which is inevitable considering we went down to 10 men as well. But we're there now, and it's unfortunate to have lost that clean sheet record that we've gone. But we're in the playoffs, which is what we want to be, and we got to concentrate on that now.
Gift of an OG just 2 minutes before half time.
Yeah, fantastic. Great, great work from Duffer, and you put in those areas and anything can happen. It was a fantastic way to finish the half. And we continued on that. As soon as we got that goal, I think it lifted us. We pushed on, and I think we were looking at that, get a couple more. I know Shea pulled off a couple of saves, but I think in the attacking third we looked well. We looked strong, and we had a couple of good chances. But overall it was a good team performance, and we worked hard to make sure that we put our foot in the half of the next round, which is what the main option was.
Any preference for the playoffs?
I don't know.
It
could be anyway. Now we're looking at the results there, and a few games aren't finished and stuff, and all, so it could be anybody. But whoever we get, we know we're capable of doing well. Look at our record in the last playoffs. We're unfortunately not go through. So whoever we're going to get, we're going to be confident that we can beat them, especially here and away from home. We've had a very good record as well.
Even if it was France.
Even if it was France, as much as you would like to avoid them because of the type of team and stature they have, you wouldn't mind getting one back over on them if it came to that.
Good stuff there from Stephen Kelly. It's not going to be France by the looks of things. In fact, it's going to be an unseeded team that will be up against because we're going to be seeded.
We are definitely going to be seeded now alongside Portugal, Croatia and either Bosnia or France, depending on what happens in the last 4 or 5 minutes at the start.
Okay, so
of
we
France.
don't need France to do us a favour.
No,
now. Well, let's
it's
get
finished
them
now.
knocked back to the playoffs.
It's
So
the
let's
Czech,
hope Bosnia score a goal.
It's the Czech Republic, Turkey, Montenegro and Estonia. They're the 4 teams who, one of those teams will be our opponent in the playoff.
Give us those teams again.
The Czech Republic,
yeah,
who we played, of course, in the Steve Staunton group, and we drew with them 1-1 home, lost away 1-0.
I think they've regressed even a bit since then.
They're maybe not as strong as they were. Turkey, who beat us in a playoff before, pretty bad-tempered one for Euro. Was it Euro 2000?
Yeah, big Kaz shipping a punch in the playoff second leg and getting suspended for a few games after.
Yeah, in a game no one saw, wasn't there? Yeah, there was TV blackout.
I saw it, Murph. I was in one of the pubs in Dublin that managed to
Very
somehow get the rights to show it.
They negotiated that with UEFA, did they? That's good to hear.
We've got Montenegro, who we played obviously a couple of years ago in Trapattoni's first group. We drew with them twice, I think. And they've recently come second in England's group. They drew 2-0 with England. They didn't lose to England in that group. They did lose to Wales.
Little more than a pub team, as Alan Hansen described them during the week. Or certainly one of the pundits I saw referring to Wayne Rooney's rat. I know, completely unfair on an alright team.
And Estonia, who I think we last played in the qualification for the 2002 World Cup. And Richard Dunn and Matt Holland, I remember, scored a couple of goals against them over in Estonia. And we won the home leg. Maybe Richard Dunn scored that time as well. So he likes these opponents.
If full-backs don't overlap, it's very difficult for the likes of McGeady to get any space. He was getting a bit of grief tonight, and people need to relax a little about him.
Yeah, I absolutely think that as well. I mean, he takes chances. I mean, we need him, I think, in our lineup because we don't have a great deal of pace in our team.
Yeah.
And he is a player who can beat players. And let's remember that he set up a goal today. You know, Damien Duff, I don't hear Damien Duff being criticised today, but if you were to ask Simon Cox privately what he thought of Damien Duff, I'm sure he would have a couple of moments. Moments where, I mean, he was screaming, you know, you could see him here, I need the ball here, and Duff just wants to dribble. It's taking a little bit too much out of it.
Let's hear from Shay Given, Irish goalkeeper.
Shay, very proud night, I'm sure, captaining the side into the playoffs for this year.
Yeah, we're delighted, obviously. It was a nervy night, you know, but you got to enjoy nights like tonight. You know, we're in the playoffs next month, and we're looking forward to that now. It's a great atmosphere here tonight, and you know, we're delighted with the win.
I suppose we're always talking about trying to get the rub of the green, and we certainly got that when the Armenian keeper was sent off.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a long way off, but it looked like to me a handball. But then people said it maybe hit him in the chest. I don't know, but you know, maybe we are due a little bit of luck. But you know, we got a little bit tonight, but we scored a couple of good goals, and we're just happy. You know, I think sometimes you just got to enjoy it sometimes, and we enjoyed the victory, and you know, we enjoy getting 21 points in the group. It's been a long campaign, and you know, hopefully we can finish it off next month.
Must be a little bit frustrated that the clean sheet run has been broken.
Yeah, I should have done better with the goal. You know, seeing it a bit late and then I dived backwards and couldn't get enough on it to get around the post, but you know, it hasn't cost us anything. That's the most important thing, and you know, we move on to the next game and look forward to Thursday, the draw, and see who we're going to get.
Any preferences? It could be France.
Somebody easy. No, we'll just take it on the chin. Whoever we get, whoever we play, they'll know we're in for a very tough game when they come here, and we'll give them a tough game in their home place as well. And you know, please God, we can get across the line this time and get through the playoffs. Okay. Cheers, lads. Thank you.
It's very strange to see Shay Given making a mistake for Ireland, and he did so tonight, as he admitted himself.
Definitely won't be France, though. Can't be France.
Yeah.
Which is great. Czech Republic, Turkey, Montenegro, or Estonia.
Off the Ball on News Talk 106 to 108.
Hope you've enjoyed the programme so far tonight. On a good night for Irish football, our competition, we're giving you the chance to win a signed rugby jersey by the Irish team, and also a weekend in Delphi Adventure Centre, including activities and lots of other fun things. Each night our finalists get a L'Oreal Paris Men Expert hamper. Our mystery voice tonight was asked what he thinks of men who don't moisturise daily.
I think it's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
Another listen.
I think it's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
If you know that is, text the word expert followed by your answer to 53106. Those texts cost 30 cents. You have to be 18 or over to enter. So thanks to L'Oreal Paris Men Expert, a proud sponsor of Irish Rugby. Full terms and conditions at newstalk.ie/competitions. Kevin Doyle now speaking to the assembled media after he got sent off during the Irish victory tonight.
If the other player doesn't jump and he's 2 feet below me, I can't help it when my arms are up at the level of his head. So doesn't help when he goes down screaming either and gets up 5 seconds there.
There was a free kick just before that given against you as well when you were probably away. Were you just feeling a bit frustrated?
Yeah, it should have been a free kick. I know the one you're on about, but I wasn't carrying it over to take it out on your man going for the header. And you know, I jump the same every time. I don't ever deliberately go up to hurt anyone when I go for a header, and you know, I didn't hurt him. So if anything, I barely touched him, and he's made the most of it.
How many times have you been sent off in your career? I can't actually remember.
First time today.
First time.
Since I was about 12, I think. So first time for everything.
I mean, it was a straight red. So I mean, would there be? We just have to wait for the.
No, I think he gave a second yellow actually. Yeah.
So it's only one game, and then.
As far as I know, yeah, I'm not sure.
So. You've actually got away with that a bit actually, because you were going to be out of the game anyway, weren't you? To the first.
Yeah. So.
You've got to look on the bright side, maybe.
I didn't set out to get away with them, so no, it's frustrating. But you know, we're through and we're playing in playoffs and we're seeded. We're one of the top seeds, so that's good as well.
France have just succeeded in qualifying for the championships with a 1-1 draw against Bosnia, which puts them in the playoffs. but away from our side of the playoffs.
No. They're Bosnia are in the playoffs. Sorry, sorry, I misunderstood you.
That's fine. The point there about Kevin Doyle is that he got a...
What did Kevin Doyle do to get sent off at the age of 12, I wonder?
Yeah. Kevin Maniac Doyle, back up until he was 12, he's getting sent off every second game. They had to curb him.
No, I'm going to say referee abuse.
No.
When he was 12. Listen, he was the best player in the field. The referee took it into his own hands to just give him a little lesson for his professional career. And obviously that referee's good work when Kevin Doyle was 12 has paid off because he hasn't been sent off.
If only someone had done the same thing with Wayne Rooney.
I think the point being made there to Kevin Doyle by the journalist was that the yellow card that he got was actually first one was going to rule him out anyway of the playoff, and the second one shouldn't add to that. He should, as far as we're aware, it means he's just going to miss one game. You've been looking at the teams who we might play. So it's Montenegro.
Yeah, Montenegro. Let's look at Montenegro's record at first, okay?
Montenegro, Estonia, Czech Republic, and Turkey. Let's decide who we want here and there.
Well, Montenegro drew at home. They drew 1-0 with Bulgaria, 2-0 with England, beat Switzerland and Wales at home 1-0 in both matches. Away from home, they weren't really quite as good. Lost in Switzerland, lost in Wales, drew 0-0 with England and beat Bulgaria 1-0. So, not maybe the most formidable. Czech Republic's record in qualifying really wasn't great. It was 2-0, a 2-0 victory against Liechtenstein at home, lost to Lithuania at home, beat Scotland 1-0, and lost 2-0 to Spain. Away from home, they managed to beat Liechtenstein, beat Lithuania, got revenge. Scotland, they drew 2-2 with a very dubious penalty, at the end. And they lost away to Spain, which pretty much everybody always does. And the Turks' record is pretty formidable. They managed to beat almost everyone in their group at home. Austria, Azerbaijan, Belgium and Kazakhstan, all beaten by Turkey. Germany managed to go there and win. Away from home, they drew with Austria, they lost to Azerbaijan, they drew with Belgium, they lost to Germany, and they beat Kazakhstan. And the worst record out of all these teams that are in that playoff is undoubtedly Estonia, and I think they would be the favourite opposition for Ireland. They lost at home, they lost rather away 2-0 to the Faroe Islands. So Brian Carr would maybe know a thing or two about this Estonian team. They lost 3-0 to Italy, managed to beat Northern Ireland and Slovenia away from home 2-1, and in the freak result which really transformed the group, they somehow managed to win 3-1 in Belgrade. That is the freak. That's the reason Serbia are not in this playoff, and they, what a disaster for them. Estonia's home record, they lost to Italy, they lost to Slovenia.
Yeah.
It's not a formidable.
Let's try and avoid
record
Turkey. Turkish football is a type of football we don't deal with very well.
No.
Unbelievably good technical players.
So what we're looking at is Estonia, number one, most preferred. Montenegro, second.
Montenegro, yeah, probably.
Czech Republic, third. And Turkey, then the least favourite.
I think it's really, as long as we don't get Turkey, we should be happy.
Barry in Kildare says, will we be at home for the second leg, or is it lots?
We will be at home.
And we're certainly not complaining, by the way. We were talking about the slight hypocrisy of not condemning Cox for his handball tonight, given the Henry incident. We're also not too concerned that there happens to be seedings this time around.
At least everybody knew
the cream has to rise to the top.
Absolutely.
The country needs our
barmy celebration of football, celebration of European football.
The important point with these seedings is everybody knew that this was the way it was going to be decided before we all started. Unlike the last time when FIFA just said, hang on a second, we better put some seedings on this just to make sure the big countries don't
Rory McGovern and Glenageary identified Shay Given
I think it's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
as the mystery voice. So well done. You win yourself the L'Oreal Paris Men Expert hamper, and you go into the draw for the signed Irish rugby jersey and the trip to Delphi Adventure Centre. Noel and Kevin really enjoyed the game. We're in the playoffs. You can have a philosophical conversation about style of football, but what's disturbing is that Owen and Murph don't understand their role as journalists. Ken is right, you're supposed to give truthful analysis, not mindless nationalism. Shameful, says Mark from Swords. My truthful analysis of tonight's game is that we won it, and the group of the group is that we came in second place and deserved to do so, and therefore are into the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
If you're a cynic, you'll be proved right eventually.
It's practically the Volkischer Beobacter there.
Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
No es una persona cualquiera, es un hombre pegado a una pelota de cuero. Tiene el don celestial de tratar muy bien al balón. Es un guerrero, es un ángel y se le ven las alas heridas. Es la Biblia junto al calefón.
Thanks for